Make a case.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sports and Other Things of the Sorts. If you can hear my voice at all, you'll understand that it's not up to par. That's because I've been dealing with some sort of a cold, so I'm going to keep it low, keep it calm. I've got the super strength Vicks cough drop in. I've got my Vicks humidifier going right next to me. Not sponsored, but it's working pretty well. So we're going to jump right in to what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about Pete Rose. Specifically, we're making a case for Pete Rose's Hall of Fame bid. But we also have a concept that I wanted to talk about that ties directly into Pete Rose. So, without further ado, let's make a case for Pete Rose.
Make a case.
So, there's not much here that deters Pete Rose from being in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he wasn't an all-star all 24 years he played, only 17 of them. He won a Silver Slugger, he won 2 Gold Gloves, he won 3 batting titles, he's an MVP, and most importantly, he's the all-time league leader in hits. So why isn't he already in the Hall of Fame? Because he retired in 1986. Well, most people probably know that Pete Rose gambled on baseball while he was directly involved with the game. I believe it was when he was a manager. And as the rules state in most, if not all, competitive sports, you cannot gamble on the sport or you will be banned from the sport or suspended for a certain amount of time. Now, Pete Rose got banned for his lifetime. And unfortunately, as of September 30th, 2024, his lifetime has ended. So that should mean his lifetime ban is lifted. However, I don't think that ban should have ever been in place. So when Pete Rose gambled on baseball, he was the manager of the team. I think it was the Cincinnati Reds. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But he always bet on his team. Unless what I read was wrong. It's kind of weird to be banned for betting on your team. I get it. It's in the rules, whatever, but it's not like you're throwing games, and it's not like betting on your team is giving you a statistical advantage. And especially when he doesn't necessarily have a direct effect on the outcome of the game, it seems a little odd that he was banned for life. But here's my problem. I think his ban from baseball and this rule in general should have been gone when the MLB and the NFL and the NBA and the NHL and all these professional sporting leagues started using sports betting apps as their sponsors. Now look, I'm sure this argument, I've seen this before. I've seen many people say the same thing that I'm going to say, and I've seen many people argue it with, well, it was in the rule book, so he shouldn't have done it. Okay, but it's still a double standard. In my opinion, something has to give. Either these sports leagues have to give up the sponsors and keep the rule in place, or take the rule out and keep the sponsors. Because it's very hypocritical of a huge corporation, of a huge company, to promote something that their players aren't allowed to use, in my opinion. Now, you still have to work out that detail of if a player bets against their team and throws the game so that they make money on the bet, there has to be consequences. But then again, how will you know they actually threw the game, or if they just had a bad game? So there are some kinks to work out with it, but at the end of the day, something has to give. We're sitting here without a guy like Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, who is a former MVP. He's a 17-time All-Star. He's a 2-time Gold Glove winner. He's won a Silver Slugger. He's won 3 World Series. He's the all-time league leader in hits, and he's not in the Hall of Fame because as a coach, he bet on his team. He didn't throw a game like the Black Sox did, Shoeless Joe Jackson, 8 men out, right? He bet on his team as a coach. So it's not like he can go out there and throw 15 balls in a row to walk the bases loaded. Well, it'd have to be 16 to walk the bases loaded and then give up a home run on purpose somehow. He could make the lineup bad, but why would he do that if he bet on his team? And then when you fast forward in time and you see the MLB literally having official sponsors like BetMGM, FanDuel, DraftKings. That's really weird, isn't it? It's like they have the rule book in the locker room saying, no gambling or you may be given a lifetime ban. This rule is sponsored by DraftKings. Like, something has to give. Either the MLB has to drop the sponsors or they have to allow their players to gamble. At this point, with how much money players make, I don't see them throwing games just to make $10,000 on a bet. So I think throwing games will be kind of out the window. But then again, also, teams will tank just to get one pick because somehow one pick will change the entirety of the next season. Just look at Zion Williamson. So this was the overarching idea. There's not much to say about Pete Rose's career to make a case for the Hall of Fame. Career-wise, he should be in the Hall of Fame. I get it. He broke a rule that could give him a lifetime ban, and he got a lifetime ban. But one, his lifetime ban is over. Second, his lifetime ban should have been lifted when official sponsors like BetMGM and FanDuel came into the MLB. That is my opinion, and that is where I'll leave it. Thank you for listening to this episode of Make a Case. This was kind of short, kind of mellow. I rambled a lot because I didn't write out a script because it wasn't going to be a super long episode. Thank you for listening. If I already said that, whatever. Thank you for listening. That's the third one. Be sure to hit follow, subscribe, whatever. I don't really care enough to say it every time. It's getting annoying to me even. So always respect each other online, especially because you can't hear the tone of a text or of a comment. So take everything online with a grain of salt, but also respect people. With that, I'm Lucas Stein, and I'll see you next week.